Alright guys, I know it has been forever since I've uploaded, but we are back. Today what we're going to do is start a new series. This is going to be pretty much vanilla, the usual story. I've got mods that make the game run better, mods that make the UI look nicer, but the gameplay, what's available in shops, what weapons we can use. I didn't even put attack slots in. We're just going. And basically, the idea here is we're going to just beat the brakes off of Kenshi without really having to try. The zero struggle. For all the times Kenshi's beaten us down, today we're going to get some revenge. We're going to start off rip beating the daylights out of this game. So the idea is to start with the Freedom Seekers. We've got a Greenlander to do our science, a typical human male so that we can go recruit in the Holy Nation if we have to, three rejected Hiver drones so they can start out our labor force, and the, we'll say, very helpful skeleton. So there's a couple things you can do in the very early game that are dangerous, but for a skeleton, who is our old soldier of the group, Belt, starts with 25 toughness, and he's a skeleton. He's way less likely to just randomly die to bad luck. That's really all it's about. He's not going to die to bad luck, and at least that's the goal. So we're going to take these guys. We're not going to start a base. I think that's kind of what, at least that's what I imagine this start is typically for. But it's actually a great start to go get set up in town. Buy some cheap property, build it up, get some mining going, but we don't have to do that. That's the idea. I'm going to be doing something fun and interesting the whole time while I have my crew handle the things that need to get done. It's one of the best ways to start is to already have some people. It is a little easier for sure, but today is not about doing the craziest, hardest challenge. It's about conquering Kenshi and enjoying it the entire time instead of just suffering at the hands of Kenshi. So we're just going to make our way to Squin. This is like the easiest town to set up in. It's well protected. They're not randomly going to scoop up your non-human characters or females and just throw them in prison for existing. They might yell some slurs at you, but that's just like being in high school, you know, it's fine. We can handle that. We're going to go here. We're going to sell basically whatever we have to in order to have enough money to buy one of the small crappy properties and build it up. So we're just not going to sell the building materials we start with. If you look at it here, we start with a ton of material. We're probably going to sell most of the iron plates, all the wheat. We're not going to be farming anytime soon. And when we do, wheat is a noob trap that you should never farm that crap. It's got like a 7-step process to become food. It's awful. So let's bring everyone in here, see what we got to do. We'll start with just selling off the iron plates, and we'll keep one set of iron plates. That got us pretty close. We don't need the weapons just yet. And we're going to make weapons here pretty quickly. So we'll go ahead and take everybody but Belt's weapon. Buy this building and repair. So I have at least fiddled with the idea, just played around with what can you do at the start to really get things moving. And the biggest thing I found is getting other people mining. Mining at the start sucks. Don't do it. I'm going to show you how I get a quick influx of cash once I have these guys set up. I do this almost every time I start. If I start as Wanderer, I'm immediately going to run over to this shop, buy a backpack, and go from there. In fact, let's see if we can get a backpack. We don't need our weapon. That does give us enough. This trader's backpack is more important than having a weapon at the very start. At the very start, we are not trying to fight anybody. There's not a lot of point to it. Even if we were going to, it wouldn't work out great. Even with Belt having the stats he does, we do have a bounty with Holy Nation with this start for just this one guy, but we don't start out with bad relations with them, and he can't go to the Holy Nation anyway. They'll kill him on sight. So that's kind of not really a big downside. All we want to do here is get the ore storage, general storage boxes, and then the gear storage. And this will let us start mining. That's the gist of it. That lets us start mining and put away food. We'll have to build those when it's time. We take one guy over here, two guys over here, and they'll start farming copper. We'll have ribs to go do recruiting as we need and buy stuff. And then Belt is just going to take off for the nearest, most easily accessed Hiver village. It's basically got the most safe area. So you're running through the border zone all the way up to this hive here. All the others, you have to pretty much go pretty far into Vane or out in the Sten Desert where you can see spiders and a lot of bone dogs. This is just the safest path to get to a Hiver village. And then here, if we're super lucky, Beak Thing Nest will be right next to the village. It's like a 50-50 shot. If it is, it's really easy to get those beak things to come and attack the hive or attack you, and the hive will defend you. So that's what we're doing. We're running up there, and we're just going to farm those guys. It's kind of like baiting bandits at the start, but this is the more cats per hour version of that, we'll say. So one of the easiest ways to tell if you have a nest nearby is to actually zoom in on the map. So we didn't get that lucky, but there are beak things wandering by, and that will work. So bait them in, run into the middle. During the day, there will just be a ton of guys out here to protect you, but at night, you might have to try and bait them all the way into the building. We can hold on to the food if we want to. I probably won't, just because running it back will suck. But we'll see. Now that we've got all the research done, we're going to start. I will say this. In the options, the advanced options you got building speed, basically your research speed, building speed. I tried playing with those as default. It is literally a fun meter. You're just turning your fun down when you leave that. So I always speed up the building and the research. It keeps you from just sitting here fucking bored. It's supposed to be fun. It might make it a little harder to produce food, but if you actually set it up correctly at all, you'll always wildly overproduce food, even with the processing speed being slow. So we're not gonna do that. We're just not. We're gonna have fun. Because again, that's all it does is slow you down. It makes you'll hit points in the game where you really have nothing better to do but sit around and wait for stuff to get researched, sit around and wait for stuff to get built, and that sucks. So we'll set her to engineer and him. Who's got our iron plates? Namtran. We'll just have him ditch those. Take these guys off of engineer now. That way they'll keep mining, and these two can handle building stuff, getting that stuff set up. So what I'll normally do, a lot of times, if there's no beak thing nest in the immediate vicinity, it'll just take about an in-game day for things to start spawning, and then this place will just be lousy with animal enemies that you can loot. If you don't want to mess with that, you just can't be bothered. You also can look out for enemies wandering by and then lure them in. You just have to be careful. If you don't get them in a fight with the hivers pretty quick, you can get wrecked. And like I said, it's not daylight, so it's taken forever for them to respond. But now as it gets past 7 o'clock, they'll be out here and it'll be a lot safer. We're going to use that money, see if we can get a repair. Because we're going to want a repair kit on us at all times, pretty much. This is a dingy one, but it'll do for now. So you'll see now, like, there's animals off in the distance fighting each other. We can basically bait them down here. There might even be a nest. Sometimes when daylight hits, beak things coming from a certain direction. But yeah, they're already coming in. They're already getting killed. There's gonna be plenty of stuff for us to loot. And we can either, like I said, take all of this food back with us for our humans, or and we can just leave it here and sell it. Really just depends on how heavy it ends up being and what I want to do. But pretty much as long as you're patient, or like I had the other guys to switch to, so I didn't have to sit around. By the time the second day rolls around and you're on day 2, you're gonna see a ton of animals here. Come on. There he is. So I like to go at regular speed when I'm baiting beak things, if especially if I'm encumbered. You really got to make sure you're hitting R as they get close so that you can get away. Because a couple good bops from this beak thing and I could end up bleeding out, and that's just annoying. Once we put some armor on this guy, it won't be so bad. The other thing I can do, I was carrying this beak thing to start getting some more strength, but we're already at 25 and we're not going to need much more than that. We're not going to be doing a bunch of thieving. We're not going to do any kind of hash running, anything where it's just like buy a bunch of stuff, run back and forth, buy. We're not doing that. We're going to get our money from just having all of those guys set up to mine right off the start, farming up some animals by baiting them, and then we're going to go raid some different technology areas. We're going to get some guys armored up, get them equipped, and that's going to allow us to really early on go out safely with some complete noobs in some good gear and raid libraries, take down robots without too much trouble. Why are we... Who are they fighting? Oh, the slavers. Yeah, so the slavers will show up too, and sometimes they'll try to enslave their buddies, and they're not really okay with that. So I am going to take the meat back because I just remembered there's a great thing I can do with it. So this gets us a good amount to start with, right? We had already spent down to almost nothing. We came here, got 16,000 cats. We can now go join the Shinobi Thieves. That's going to let us get some pretty good weapons early on if I don't end up just using the spiked maces and spiked clubs. And if you, anytime you start, you always kind of want to have the Shinobi Thieves because of those thief backpacks. If nothing else, if you're playing vanilla, it's a great way to get thieves backpacks for half price. They are incredible for looting what we're going to be looting. So that's what we're looking for. We'll either be using traders backpacks for people we want to be able to stack stuff up on, or we're going to be using those thieves backpacks. And in this case, we need a little bit of both for this guy. So just tell him we want to sign up, and now we're just looking for the vendor. And he could be anywhere. We'll go ahead and set ourselves to using the lockpick training box, the level 2. You can go straight to level 2. We're going to grab this. Now, ideally, I want some ninja rags, but we can probably grab those and the pants from the Holy Nation We've got a little bit of money left. It is over 2,000, which means I am going to be able to do the next step in this. So this whole time we've been here, some of our guys are kind of AFK. There's not a lot of science left to research. Let's see if there's anything else that we could do. Public sales, building materials, and farming. This is just going to let her have something to do. And then for him, we can actually go and sell some of the copper that's been building up. So it hasn't taken hardly any time at all. And they're already starting to farm it. It's not going to be a ton. But if you look at it, we were at 16,000, spent down to 6, made another 4,000 cats, and I didn't do anything to get that. I just had my guys mining. That's the main thing you want to make sure you get set up. Don't mine yourself at the start. Farm some animals, do something like this, whatever you got to do. If you like doing thievery, if you enjoy that, there's a lot of places you can steal stuff and make money. But don't ever sit here staring at this, you know? That's not fun. That's not what I want to be doing. So we're going to see if there are any mercenaries here. Basically, I'm just going to have him training on his lock picking because we're going to need it later. Anytime I'm switching over to the other guys. So this is great. We're looking at a mercenary group that's heavily armed and armored. Human recruits over here, not even having to go anywhere. That's great. We like human, and we like the hivers for any of our laboring or science, and you always want to have the Scorchlanders for your crafters because they will just learn it so much faster. It lets you fight your way into the end game with gear that much quicker. So normally, I made one mistake. I'm supposed to go find the beak thing nest before I hire these guys, but I've got a skeleton dude. I'm going to be able to get this done. I should be able to find a nest or two before they're gone. If not, I'll go hire some more guys. But the idea is you find a beak thing nest that has a bunch of eggs. These guys go in there. Hopefully don't all die. Hopefully they'll make it out, but it really doesn't matter to us. We're just in it for the money. It's hard out here. They knew what the job was when they signed up for it. I was going to run the food home, but since we're out here, we're just going to make sure we have an empty backpack before we head out. And if I'm going a little fast, there's a lot better videos to get you acquainted with the game. I've even got some, and I'm going to put out more later. But that's just not what this is. This is supposed to be a funny, we're just beating the daylights out of this game as quick as possible with as little grinding and doing things that aren't fun as possible. Where did my guys go? Did I lose them? What are they doing over here? Are they over here just fighting random beak things? Is that where we're at? What did you guys get dragged into? A solo beak thing. You guys are getting worn down over a solo beak thing. You're killing me, Smalls. Oh, hey. So, they did me a favor and found a nest, it looks like. We're going to confirm it's a beak thing nest before we go over there. I don't want to fight a bunch of wolves for no loot. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. Oh, not much, man. How you doing? Let me get this going. I'm just getting started on the money grind here in Kenshi. Get my bodyguards in place. It looks like this nest might even be pretty empty. Oh, there's a few of them though. So we're going to set ourselves on passive and block and hold. We just want to stay out of the way, let them handle this. Luckily, most of the beak things had like taken off, it looks like, so we're not even gonna have to try and run away and leave these poor guys to their fate. They should be able to handle these. We're not going to use a ton of exploits just because we don't need to. What we're going to do is just do some very, very effective ways to start the game. We're already going to have enough money to buy just about whatever we want, recruit the people we need. We've already got a mining operation set up. Most of the exploits are just things that are going to let you train stats faster. It's like skill grinding. We're basically going to skip that. We're not even going to bother skill grinding. We're going to be in really good equipment right off the bat, and it's just not going to be necessary. Equipment is like 99% of your success in this game. It's the biggest difference between you and the NPCs is that almost no one has good gear on. And if they do have good armor, they don't have good weapons. Very, very few of them. So if you show up with good armor and good weapons, they're cooked. Now, since we're heading back to town, I should actually hold on to all of this meat so we can cook it. But basically, instead of using exploits, we're looking at using just general gameplay experience. I've played this game way too much, and I've kind of got it sorted out how to get a good start and how to have fun doing it. We basically just made something like 70, 80,000 cats before day 3, and we're going to just reinvest that into hiring the people we need to keep the mining going. We're going to buy the technology we need, and then we're going to go sneak in and take some more stuff from the Holy Paladins. They have like a science stash we can rob. And then we're going to go grab crab armor. And we're just going to put a ton of gear together as fast as possible. But we're basically never going to spend any time just sitting around. If nothing else, we'll be able to take this guy, beef him up a little bit with some good armor, or just let him continue to use stealth, and go rob a couple places filled with technology while we wait for our armor smith guy to get going. The main thing I want to get here is some sneaking equipment, and we're just not getting lucky. Where is he going? So we're going to take our male human. You got to make sure you do not send. Ooh, it's lucky they didn't get mad he was in there all night. You got to make sure you don't send your girls over there to the Holy Nation because they hate women. Like, they hate them. They don't, that's an exaggeration, but they will just randomly scoop you up and be like, you don't have a man anywhere near you, you must be a horrible slut. We're throwing you in jail. Not being surrounded by dudes is grounds to say you're a terrible person and throw you in jail. We're going to make sure we've got enough food on these guys before we move on. So I like to buy just the dried meat and nothing else if I can get away with it. If somehow I fall behind on food because I forgot to keep up with it, I'll buy more. But that's basically the most effective food you can buy for the price. Alright, his inventory's pretty much empty. That'll just make it so he can run fast. We're going to see if I can score the ninja rags up here. The other thing to think about is we want one more smith if we could, but it's not necessary. I could do crossbow smithing, but it's not needed. I'm going to be able to buy 20 crossbows really easy. We're just going to run right past these guys. We made sure we emptied our inventory, so they're not going to be a problem. This is going to let me get the gear I need to make my stealth. I won't have to sit and grind stealth. I'll spend like 3 minutes wandering around behind some bandits, and then we're gone. We're running straight off to our goal, and we're going to go steal some stuff. We're not abusing thievery or anything like that. We're just going to rob the places where it's not even related to your thievery stat. You just break into one of the old labs, take the science from them, and go. So we're heading up here to a holy nation city called Stack. I might be able to even find the stealth pants. That gives you like a 40% boost. So, not quite half. So if you're at like 60 stealth, you're going to get something like 20 more, maybe 25. And you're going to be close, very close to 85, 90 stealth very quickly. Mm. And it's actually more than that because it's like 40 and then you multiply it by 10. They're multiplicative, so it's something like 44%. Either way, very, very quickly to get your stealth at 100 with equipment on if you have the right equipment. And I swear this clothing shop's always invisible. It's like my brain just cannot hold on to where it is. We did not get lucky. Unlucky. It's too early to spend a lot of money on chainmail, but we do know we can get this here, which is cool. So now we need to probably just have him chill. We're not having him craft anything yet. We need to get some engineering research. That's what's going to let us take care of business. So we'll just have him take a seat. He'll quit burning through food. Let's see how we're doing back home. We can start doing more research now. And we can sell all that copper. So we're actually already at the point where I probably could just run and go buy the technology stuff we need. It wouldn't be a terrible idea. Let's see if we can get some books and get science unlocked. We'll just buy all of those books. We've got tons of money from hunting down those beak thing eggs. We need basic weaponsmithing, and then once we have tech level 2 or 3, we can unlock heavy weapons. I think that's what I'm going to do. I like those with the crossbows. We're going to do something that I think a lot of people think is weird. But we're going to do crossbows with heavy armor. And that's going to allow us to take completely inept loser dudes with 0 stats and fight them against the dust bandits until they stop sucking. They'll eventually just get good, and we can go from there. I think we're just going to take the assassin rags and just some pants to keep my legs from falling off, and we're just going to move on. We're going to go get the technology we need. I want this guy working on crafting as soon as possible. And I was going to... Yeah, we're just tanking and spanking. It's going to be... Because the hardest thing about leveling crossbows is you either have to micro them yourself. So you're taking every guy and spreading them out every single fight because there's no command or formation to spread them out. And it's annoying. If you put them in heavy armor, they're going to shoot each other, do almost no damage, and then eventually their stat that keeps you from shooting each other, the perception, no, where is it? Precision. Accidentally shooting your friends is the only way to level it up. So you just throw them in heavy armor, leave them clumped in a ball. They'll do almost no damage to each other until this stat is high enough that they just stop hitting each other. And you can travel around just like you would with your melee characters and just let them get into fights. And it's just smooth as butter. And their stats get better faster. And they're less likely to die because of the heavy armor. It's just good all around. I do need to sell some of this crap, and we'll go ahead and go drop the food off at Squin. Having the uncooked meat is good. Shooting each other, if they get hurt enough, you can increase your toughness. Pretty much taking damage at all does. I'm not sure specifically if it will. I know you're not going to get a ton of toughness. You're definitely not going to get a ton of it. You're going to get your toughness mostly from just the actual fighting you're going to do, because you're not always going to be able to take them all out before they get close. But when they do get close and one or two of your guys get knocked down, that's where most of their toughness is going to come from. The biggest thing is that because you're wearing really high quality heavy armor, you're not going to die. You're going to get knocked out at like -5 instead of -55, and instead of dying, you'll just be knocked out. And they won't lose limbs randomly. You're way less likely to lose limbs with very heavy armor on. I've done it before. I've got an entire series where I played through with a team that was mostly Shek, and I had Beep. It started out very differently. I kind of did it way different than this, but we still ended up in the same armor. It's just the best stuff you can have. So we're going to give this uncooked meat over to Khaled, and we're going to sell the eggs. But basically the idea is normally if you're in light armor or low quality armor at the start of the game, you're not going to survive a fight with the dust bandits. Like, you have to fight the hungry bandits and no one else, or have one of your guys stay out of the fight just to even maybe survive it. So it's not as fun. You can't really go do anything. You can't wander around. And you end up just kind of doing these weird things that don't make sense. Setting up a mining operation, making some money, getting yourself a blacksmith to build you good gear, and then heading out makes sense. It's a more smooth, less nonsense way to start the game. So the reason I bought these lanterns, eventually I'll buy one for everyone, but we just want one of the dudes over here to have one so that for most of the night, most of the time, they're not going to be working in darkness. It makes them work faster. And now we're going to head out. We might be risking it, but this is the Freedom Seeker start. If I had started as Wanderer, this guy would have junk stats, and this would be extra sketchy. We're going to buy a better repair kit before we leave, because this is a little sketchy. But because we've got the toughness, because we've got at least some kind of stealth armor to maybe give us a boost as we level it, we might be able to get away with just going like this. And we'll just keep our eye on this guy. We'll avoid beak things and just make sure we're careful in general. We're going to have her work on, okay, we got tech level 2. And we want cooking. Keep her working on that. Ribs, you go ahead and come back. We're leaving. So we're heading out to Black Desert City. I was going to try and level up stealth enough to steal it, but I don't even know if they have enough engineering research there. And we're not getting the gear that makes it faster. Sometimes it's just RNG. You don't get the good stealth gear automatically. And I don't like starting as the Holy Sword, which gives you the best stealth gear in the game right off the bat for a skeleton. But then the Holy Nation and United Cities hate you and everyone you hire for the rest of the game. So I couldn't go recruit people out of there if I needed to. And we don't want that. So we're just going to run for it. If something tries to chase us down and eat us, we'll grind some stealth as we run. We're basically just raw dogging it here. We're just going to go for it. I will test that though, now that you mentioned it. I'm gonna see if just shooting each other increases toughness. There's a way you can grab like an animal and pin them in. So here's what I was talking about. We've got a guy chasing us. We can just hit sneak, and as he catches up to us, it'll give us a little bit of stealth XP. So we can watch this as we run. You can see that bar just skips straight up. It's only for a second, but we're not sitting here grinding it. It's just happening. We slow down for a second, get a quick stealth level, and get back to running full speed. Now, this isn't going to have us at any kind of useful stealth level all on its own, but it is going to just slowly level it up as we go. And because he gave up on us, now it's going to be even easier. Because we're actually getting away. No, there he is. He really, really wants us. But I have a way to test if we can get toughness training going with crossbows. That would be funny. The ultra safe method for getting toughness. This is probably the least exciting thing we'll do the whole time is a bunch of running. We're just running, running, running. Once we get the running done, we're going to be running around in our armor, trying to find new tech. I could go steal it all with this guy, but I think we're probably just going to roll out as soon as we can get standard or better and go from there. Yeah, basically pincushion strats. It'll look like it too. When we first start out, we are going to shoot the living daylights out of each other, and it's going to look hilarious. But I've never ever found a better way to equip your dudes to be successful in combat as noobs. Like with a really well trained character, you can get a lot out of giving them armor that has more freedom of movement or gives them more attack speed, but with new characters, just the number one thing's keeping them alive. People, when if you go fight something even remotely scary for how new your characters are, they'll just die. Something will come up, hit them in the chest as hard as it can, and they'll just die. I mean, by the end game, we're going to be doing that to people, so that's just how it goes. So if you look, we ran all the way to the Deadlands. We didn't even have to grind up stealth. These guys are going to die chasing me here. They're going to get murdered by robots. Yeah, absolutely. So if they're knocked out by just a little bit, they can get back up after the KO timer goes down. Yeah, if you're not super injured, they just keep getting up and keep fighting. And as long as you have people up, that's what you'll see. When we get started with the really get into the combat, it's very, very easy to see like two or three of you guys get knocked down and then get back up after the person that beat them down moved on to someone else. And because we're using crossbows, that means they're shooting them in the back now. So whoever beat them down is getting shot in the back by whichever one of your dudes got back up. Oh, this is great. So I just want to... These are some dust bandits that followed us all the way in here, getting acid rain on them. These guys have been following us for I don't even know how long. But because we're a skeleton, the acid rain doesn't hurt us, and we're about to lead them into one of the toughest group of NPCs in the game. These aren't typically people you'd fight, but the guys guarding this shop are not to be messed with. There's a reason we're buying stuff from them instead of stealing it. So the main thing we need is to get this engineering research. We could buy a lot of other stuff, but we don't need to. That's the real catch. We just don't need to. The blackened chainmail is something we're only really going to be able to buy here, so we'll do that. Later we can come back and buy more science, but we just don't have to right now. We're going to be able to get to a high enough tech level to make our plate armor. We could get 4 of these to get tech level 4 unlocked. Yeah, it's going to be better to get it going ourselves than to try and steal this stuff. This is the weapon we're probably going to end up using for our sidearm, is a spiked club. But we'll probably, oddly enough, use a really low quality one so we can swing it fast. But it just makes people bleed out like crazy. You'll actually make them bleed out and fall down from that way before they would ever get knocked out from being damaged. Are they not going to defend us? For real? They're not going to defend us. That's wild. I didn't know that. Okay, well, I guess we'll just run them back through the acid rain. Like, I know there's a lot of ways we could take dudes and train them up, but if you just take total nubs and throw them in really heavy armor, they're going to walk around kind of slow, but they're going to get strength training just by going somewhere. They're going to get toughness training just normally by getting into combat. We're not going to have to grind anything. We're just going to go. So it would have taken me longer to get my stealth up, run up to Narco's trap, rob it, come back, than it is just go buy the engineering research we need to get started on our crafting. Because the sooner we get this guy crafting, the better. So we've actually spent a decent amount of money, so we're going to be looking at now holding on to our money, hiring a few more people to do some mining. And it looked like that was possible at the hub, so we'll head there. So we've still got a decent amount of food. We finished researching tech level 2. It's time to upgrade the bench. And we've got enough iron to do it too. And then we'll want a torch post just to make it to where we can see while we're doing it. And the next thing we're going to need is storage for ore. I'm going to wait to put those together though. I don't want them to start making that instead of upgrading the bench. We'll check on belt. And I made this little tiny guy, this little tiny skeleton, and named him Belt just to be goofy. But the whole idea is we're just whooping Kenshi's ass. We're just gonna run it over. It's not even gonna seem hard. Eventually, we might even get it to where we are crafting everything, including crossbows. And we might take everyone out in the field, but the initial start plan is to get up to 10 people, get everything built, and then we're going to hire 20 sheks, like just shek, if we can. And those are going to be our soldiers because they train up toughness faster than anyone. And while they train their crossbow skill slow as hell, it doesn't really ever matter. You'll see how crazy it is and how busted crossbows are and how silly it is to just throw them in heavy armor. It's like sending space marines out to do combat. It's almost daylight. It is daylight. So we can go sell some copper and this will give us the money to hire our new recruits. We need 3 more people for mining. they're going to be, their entire job is going to be to make sure we have enough iron for Ribs to keep working on making armor plate. So he'll start producing armor plate. That'll level up his smithing, and we'll go from there. So like we just went from 8,000 to 33,000, and those guys were literally just doing that off screen. Mining is cool. It's a great way to have steady income. You just don't want to do it yourself because it's boring. So we got 1, 2 humans here. Go ahead and hire them. I don't like paying 6,000 for them, but I'm not gonna run all over looking for a better price. Oh, these guys both charge premium. That's crazy. So we set them to all run the same speed. Make sure we don't click on everyone. We're gonna send these guys to Squin. We'll drop off the engineering research and get to making our heavy armor. Gotta update her job to work on this machine. And we want tech level 3. Probably want crossbow bolts and heavy weapons. And then we need tech level 3 before we can do heavy armor smithing. And while she's doing that, we'll have Ribs go stock up on food. Every chance we get, every new day, we really want to come see if they've updated their stock and buy some more food. This is the easiest way to stay caught up on food, is buy a little bit of just the dried meat every day and it'll last way longer. Alright, we got these guys here. We want them to go mine the iron. And we don't need a ton of storage for copper because we're going to sell it regularly, but the iron might build up a little bit on us. And then we just need one more recruit, so we'll go see if there's a human or a hiver this way. So this isn't something like you could just do as a brand new player. You're not going to know where all this stuff is. But that's kind of the cool thing about this game is if you go back and do another playthrough, you can get heavily rewarded for what you know about the game. And if you're in the middle of your game and you see me doing something, you'll be able to implement it almost right away. Like you can always go get some quick cash by hanging out at a high village with a backpack. Okay, so we could get another crafter, but we don't have a use for it yet. So we're not going to do that. We're going to hire this hiver. And you got to remember, all the hivers are supposed to be rejects from the hive. There's something wrong with them, so they kicked them out. So always make them look as goofy as possible. So like leg length, but no height. Make them kind of wide. Give them some weird posture. Give them little itty bitty eyes and like super close together. We'll say he's got like no horns, no antenna. There we go. And this guy will be our other guy we have mining. I really might completely skip crafting crossbows depending on how much time I end up with and how quickly we're making money. If this goes like I think it will, I'll just buy the crossbows outright from the Black Desert City and we'll just go from there. I also don't like investing into crafting weapons because it takes something like 12 or 16 AI cores, which is insane. By the time you can obtain that, you can do anything in the game anyway. Unless you're going to risk just sneaking one guy in alone for all of them. So, and you still, without mods, can't even make the best weapons. So it doesn't make a ton of sense to invest in it to me. We should have tech level 3. Plate armor crafting. We need bench level 3. We'll upgrade the bench and we'll get some iron plates. Oh, that's not even enough iron plates. So we'll leave these here. And we're going to go back to the way station. I should have grabbed them while I was there, but I didn't think about it. We get some more iron plates. And now we'll have Ribs starting to work on his crafting while we go finish up getting our stealth, snagging a little more technology. Maybe we'll hunt some more beak thing eggs, go from there. We eventually have to get our stealth up because there's someone I want to go grab. Instead of using the bed glitch and giving ourselves a beak thing to train on, I'm actually just going to go grab a dude that has fairly high stats that for some reason you're just able to pick him up. He like treats you as friendly as long as you're a skeleton. And we're going to use him as a training dummy. That should be enough. We're also going to grab the peeler and turn him into a nugget so that he can't fight back and he'll just be an attack dummy. And really, we don't need to do that. We can send them out with no training, but it's going to be funny when you see what we end up doing. And I really, really can't stress enough how much just go do something cool while everybody's building stuff, while everybody's crafting and farming up copper. The other side of this you can do really easily is just set up a mining operation kind of like this in every major city. In Stack, there's actually a copper mine inside the city that you can mine in complete safety, which is pretty great. Well, almost complete safety. The wolves like to come hang out sometimes. I'm going to put an iron plate storage over here so I can get this stuff out of my inventory. Smithing, we want plate armor crafting. We're not worried about crossbows. We actually don't want weapon grades, and I'll show you why when we start crafting weapons. And then we'll go ahead and get tech level 4 after that. So she's not going to be able to use the workbench right now because there's no power whenever it's nighttime. I'm not sure if there's a real world correlation with that. I don't know that much about seasons and wind, but basically in the Sten Desert, the wind really dies down at night instead of being more present. So again, we're just making sure we have plenty of meat. That way we don't run out of food. We also, if I didn't want to try the spiked clubs and see how well that works, could just buy our weapons from the Shinobi Thieves. They always have katanas and wakazashis that are like Mark II that are available for purchase. That always works out pretty good. So we've got a couple things we could do right now. I'm going to go see if we can get better sneak equipment. And if we can't, I'm going to go look at getting my sneak up and getting some more beak thing eggs and a few more of those lanterns so that everyone has one, and that'll just make them more efficient. So when they're mining at night, they won't be working in darkness. We'll get more copper, we'll get more iron, everything will just go faster. But if possible, I just want the ninja rags. It's the only thing I really need. And I don't want to send another human to go looking for them at stack. So hopefully we get lucky. If we don't get lucky, that's just too bad and we'll get over it. Still unlucky. Okay. What did we get up to randomly? Like 6? That's not enough. It's not enough. No such luck over here. We'll head over to some of the other hive nests. These are going to be a little more dangerous to get to, but as long as we're paying attention, we should be fine. We're not carrying anything heavy yet. And we might discover a new nest. So we actually could go get, we'd have to go get a different set of mercenaries because like half of those dudes got eaten. But since this nest is in our way, let's go check out the other way station and see if we can get enough mercenaries to get them eggs. That'll just give us even more money earlier on in the game. We also might set up turrets outside of some of these, depending on how many arrows I want to carry with us. There's a lot of ways to skin this cat. We don't even need to take crossbows if we didn't want to. Or we could use our crossbows for fights we didn't expect. There's a lot of ways to skin this cat. But we're going to grab them from over here. Try to avoid some bandits, and then we'll grab these guys too for good measure probably, just to get some use out of them. Check back in with Khaled. Okay, so now we have plate armor crafting. We're going to get indoor lighting because it works better. We can have him start doing what we need him to do. So you don't build a heavy armor smithy. When you're training your guys to craft stuff, there's a lot of ways you can do it, but this gets me a ton of armor plate at the same time as training him. So I like to just make armor plate and store it until he's ready to start actually crafting. And then we're going to need under industry, I think. Under industry is where you actually get the storage for the armor plate. We got to make sure we get that going quickly too. And for now, we'll put up a torch post. We just don't want him working in darkness if we don't have to. Belt's under attack. So without us paying attention, we wandered straight into a fight. That's not exactly what we wanted, but now we can get him back to running. Got our backpack on. the guys with crossbows are a nuisance because just like what we're gonna do, it can also stun you effectively and lock you in place. So now that we have a bunch of them, the whole automatic stealth grind is even better because there's more of them involved in chasing us. So we went from the 6 we were at earlier to 18, which still isn't much, but we're getting it just running by. We're not putting any effort into it. It's just happening as we're running away from these guys that we weren't going to stand and fight anyway. Now, if this last guy would just give up, we'll let him get a beat down. Because the guards will beat him up for coming after us like that. We can actually go back to these guys now. And because they tried attacking us, we can go get close and get a ton of stealth XP without having to try to set it up. Yeah, they're seeing us like crazy though. But you can see it's just shooting up. We're at like 26 now, 27. Every now and then they're going to see us because it's the middle of the day. And this is a little more of like actually grinding it somewhat, but we spent like 30 seconds and got our stealth way up. Now we can run into town and do what we came here to do. I really was hoping to lure all those bandits in here, but it's just not in the cards. Alright, we got some more heavily armored mercenaries. That's exactly the kind we want. I don't know how we're gonna dodge those stupid bandits on the way back because that just wastes your mercenaries like crazy. We do have a lot of smiths over here, which is great. We got a Shek over here. So we gotta remember there's some decent recruits here. Where is your captain? We're gonna hire you for 4 days just in case. I really want to try and dodge those bandits. So let's try and pay attention and see where they are. I'm a little locked in right now. I'm just trying to make sure we don't run face first into them. Okay, looks like we're good here. Chill out, mountains. Chill out. Yeah, as long as we hook a right up here. And we leave the goats alone. Looks like we're good to go. So this will let us get to the hub without incident. We'll hire more mercenaries, and then we will use them to level that beak thing nest, get a bunch of money, and go buy the rest of the lanterns we need. Of course, that's assuming the mercenary captain's not dead. So we spend a lot of money, but that's the equivalent of 2 beak thing eggs just to make sure we can get what we want. If it takes us a little time or if we get distracted, We've got enough guys with us now that they should be able to level any bandits we hit and still be able to take a fight with a beak thing or three. Did we get the crafting done? So this is why I like to check on these guys every now and then. I thought he was working already, but I forgot I hadn't built the storage yet. Hold on, I need the game to stay paused while I build stuff, please. There we go. So you're looking for storage armor plate. We don't want a storage for actual armor. We want a storage for the material. But he gets credit for this. This is going to level his smithing just as good as actually making stuff. It won't make us as much money, but getting a hold of armor plate, trying to buy it, is a nightmare without mods. We're much better off just producing a butt ton of it ourselves. Okay, so that's getting built. We still have all of our dudes. We'll slow it down a little bit, not run face first into that beak thing nest. I know I'm kind of flickering the map, but that's the easiest way to see when we're coming up on this thing. We got pretty close. See, this is why this area is so scary. You can't really make it out unless you run over it with your mouse. It just looks like trees and some junk over here. There's a boatload of beak things here. This is a dangerous situation. And we're going to lead all of these fools to their death so we can get a little bit of profit. I mean, they might make it, but that's a lot of beak things. It's not it's not guaranteed. Maybe we can sneak around. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Get a little stealth training, get some solid snake beak thing action going on. It's working. So this way we're going to get our eggs whether those guys do their job correctly or not. We're going to get what we came for. Already out of room, dang. Now if you look, a lot of these beak things are not down yet. I don't even see any that are down yet. By now, I would have expected some of them to be getting their butt kicked. And it's probably just that they have the sheer numbers to make it almost impossible, yeah. So no beak things have gone down yet, but one of our dudes did. That is not a good sign. It's time to go. They're going to have to figure that business out all on their lonesome. Yeah, they got one or two. Maybe they'll get it, but it wasn't looking good. We weren't going to sit around and wait for it. We're going to head to the next hive village. What's our stealth up to? 36, not bad. And it's leveling kind of well because we're encumbered and we're using the backpack that's not great for stealth. If we switch back to this, it'll be even more. Basically, anything you can do to lower your actual current stealth stat will help. Tell me more, how much? I literally don't have that much. No means no, leave me alone. Don't draw your sword. They will not. They take that as an immediate threat and they will kill you. It's a no-go. They're still fighting those beak things. That is wild. You always get a little XP for running around in stealth around people that could be dangerous, so that's kind of nice, but we're really just going this slow because we've got too much in our inventory for now. Let me sell you stuff. That's all you can afford, really? I guess I'll buy some science books off this guy. Just so I can get some of these emptied out. And then where's the other guy? Over here. So if you look, out of all those dudes, it looks like one guy survived. One of the mercenary heavies. So yeah, that fight didn't go well. Even if they did win, it did not go well. It was risky at the very least to stick around and see how it went. Now we'll check this other hive village. Hopefully there won't be a beak thing nest in the way this time. We don't really need that. I'm trying to get some stuff and get back. Because I want to hand those lanterns off. I want my guys to be at maximum efficiency while they're mining. And we could go and set up a mining operation in Stack, but it's a whole separate area where you've got to keep food. It's two guys you got to keep track of. And there aren't great places to sell stuff in Stack. So close by, there's a good machine shop for buying stuff, but there's no big buildings. So setting up there sucks. I can't bring my skeletons in check and women there without risking, those guys getting upset and throwing a fit. It's just better to set up in Squin. So I don't really bother with it unless I was doing like a mostly money playthrough where I don't plan on crafting myself. But what that means is we don't need any more lanterns. We already gave 2 out. We picked up 4 more. So that's 6 total. That means every one of our guys doing mining right now will have his own lantern. So right now our squad is up to 9. We can pick up one more guy that isn't going to be part of the attack team because your squad can only be 20. A lot of times people will just make 2 squads and run 30 people around for sure. But I think we're going to try to have some people who stay at home base and then some tech hunters. We're not going to try and take on any of the major factions. We're not going to go out of our way to pick a fight with them at the start. So we don't need a full crew of 30 dudes. We're going to try and make 20 really badass dudes work. So we'll get here. We'll turn everybody's jobs off just for a second so I can knock this out. Turn yours back on and yours back on. And he is just going to trade with these guys and see who needs a lantern. You don't. You do. Nope. There we go. Alright, everybody's back to work. We need more iron plates, it looks like. Buy those up. And we're going to need to store fabric soon. And we're going to want to get ahead on the whole power situation. So we'll get some fabric chests going. Does anybody have building materials? Nam Tram again. Come here, Nam Tram. Whoa, 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 whoa. Chill. Drop that stuff off. There you go. And we don't want ribs on engineer anymore. Khaled can go on engineer. My belt on engineer. Ah, looks like a lot of those guys survived enough to come back. That's cool. Didn't want to throw their lives away. Just sign up to be a mercenary. It is what it is, you know. Let's sell off our copper, make sure we keep up with it, and then we'll buy some food. There's a little bit of busy work going on, a little bit of maintenance just to keep everybody working, make sure everything's going smoothly, but for the most part, it's been go, 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 do stuff, do stuff. And that's the way I like it. I know sometimes people like just seeing everybody working and they feel like they're just kind of running the show. I like to keep one of my characters busy going and exploring or collecting rare things, getting stronger, something like that. We'll be able to sell more tomorrow. I skipped selling for a while. Grab some more food. And basically, anytime the vendor can't afford what I'm trying to sell, if they have a resource that I'd like to have, I'll buy it. Yeah, I like to automate everything else, and then I go on the adventure. So, and Belt doesn't actually serve a crucial part to the group. So, if something does happen to him, we can go recruit one of the other two skeletons, bring him back, get him trained up on stealth, and send him back out. The main character is going to be like probably Ribs, our craftsman. I don't know. If you were to really have a main character, it would probably be Ribs or Khaled, our researcher, who happens to be super hot. Don't ask me why. Random went random. Let's see what else we can research. Oh, we need to upgrade the bench. So we'll send Belt to get some more iron plates, upgrade the bench. And we're going to hang out at tech level 4 until we have our fighting force set up. The other thing you can do for some quick money is go and hit the secret drug farm, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I've definitely had. There's no mods in here, but you can make some girls. The biggest thing is when you start the game, they're usually starving, so they look like they need to eat a bowl of spaghetti or something. But the women in this game aren't bad looking if you put them together right. Sell those. Take that. I think this guy sells the good food too. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, if you're starving to death, it's pretty hard to be an attractive woman. That's the Skeletor look is not the vibe. But that's the funny part is they get healthy again, and then you're like, dang, dang, there are girls in Kenshi. It's real. It doesn't help that the Holy Nation like shaves. A lot of the Holy Nation girls, their hair is like super short. Half the time their heads are shaved. It's crazy. Oh, I guess we did have enough iron plates to upgrade it. That's good. I don't have room for a building material storage. So here's the other thing we can do that's really good. we'll set up a cooking stove. And when we're not researching, Khaled can start cooking the dried meat, and we can go from there. Belt, go ahead and bust out the materials. Give those to Khaled. And you can just set this up to do dried meat, and it will take meat out of this. This is why I did that crafting storage. It also has the raw meat storage. So anytime I come back from a bunch of beak things, or we just happen to find some animals along the way, I can set that up. She can come cook here now. And if we put a handy dandy ceiling lamp, that's actually the best way to provide lighting for doing anything in this game, is to just try and find a place for the ceiling lamp, because the torches are good, but they don't have as much of an area. Give these to her. I don't want to build a building material storage just because I'm running out of room. And I don't want to buy another building yet. Yeah, the little torches make it look like you're stuck in the Stone Age or something. We need to get to electrics right away. So battery power is going to be important. Beds will be good. Yeah, and one of the coolest things I liked doing when I had my other playthrough, the longest one I did on stream, we ended up making sure, because normally your base looks like a military outpost. You know, you've got like a bunkhouse where people have to share beds and crap. I actually built them like a neighborhood, and all 30 people had their own individual house with a bed, with food, with a place to sit, with some sake in the cabinet. It was kind of cool. It was a lot more effort than it was worth, but it was cool. But I just want to make sure I have a ton of books for the electrics until we get into ancient, so we're just going to hold right there and see what unlocks after all this is done. So we got him working, and he's going to produce this armor plate, and that's going to give us, we can also sell that. That's the other thing we can do with it. It's not just training. That's true too. I end up doing things and building it to purpose. As you can see, I really enjoy just kicking this game's ass, but sometimes you just got to do stuff for the aesthetics. Like I know that the sandals are just better than putting armor on your dudes, but I'm not gonna do it. It looks silly being in really heavy armor and wearing sandals. We're just gonna use the samurai boots, even though they mess up some of your stats, even though they don't really provide much extra protection. I think it just looks better. So that's what we're gonna do. It's just the way it's gonna be. I definitely do some stuff like that where I just don't want my guys looking goofy. They're out there to kick ass. These guys are gonna follow me around. We may as well go find another nest. Dang. Oh, I gotta quit pausing it if I don't need to be pausing it. So we have everybody working. We've got her researching. We can sell our copper, and then it's time to head back out. It might be time to do the funny. If we can get our stealth jumped up quick, it'll be time to do the funny. Okay, so here's something else too. Normally I prefer to buy this building so I can sell to these two armor shops for copper. And eventually we will. But you can just turn your jobs off so he doesn't put it back and just manually pick it up and go sell it. It's not the greatest, it's not the funnest, but in a pinch, the fastest way to get it set up and rolling was to buy that crappy building first. And it just hit me that we're loaded. So we're gonna buy this building and we're gonna fix this problem. So we're gonna put copper storage over here and put them in the middle so that they're closest to every shop. That should do. We'll sell this stuff manually. Now, for whatever reason, even though the Shek use samurai leg plates a lot for their big guys, I never see the samurai leg plates in here. It's always the lighter crap. They don't sell the good stuff. Who's on engineer work? Is it just him now? Yeah, I don't have it. That would be the other thing. We could have one person who's just doing engineering. That wouldn't be the worst. Well, so that's like the Shek's biggest weakness, and it is part of the lore. Like, it's not some made up thing or bad game design. They don't farm, they don't build, they don't even smith. This guy isn't a weaponsmith. This guy is not an armor smith. They raid, steal stuff like Vikings did, and then sell it. And if you live anywhere in their territory, they come and collect food tribute. That's where all their food comes from, is forced tribute. So they really don't exploit the infinite copper at all. They don't ever bother to farm anything, to mine anything. They leave so much growth potential on the table, and it's like the main problem with their entire society and the way it works is that it's almost not sustainable. Eventually, you've robbed everything from everyone, and everyone hates you. I mean, as bad as it sounds, you would think if they're all about conquest and they think all the other races are garbage, why don't they take slaves and make the slaves do it for them? You know, they don't even get that far. Like, if you're going to be just raiding and pillaging, it's really dumb that you also don't then raid and pillage people to do work for you. It's weird. You know, in this ruthless, evil world that this takes place in, they've got to be the dumbest motherfuckers on the moon. Yeah, yeah. Most of them are flawed in some deep way. I would say the Flotsam Ninjas kind of do okay, but they still won't even let you shop there. And if you're not human, they won't let you shop there, and they don't really like to ally with you. Yeah. The thing is, while the Holy Nation is pretty messed up, if you know the lore well enough, you know that the Shek were actually made to keep humans under control by the skeletons. Like, they're designed to enslave humanity. That's what they're there for, is to beat down humans and keep them in line. And the way they did it was probably through doing experiments on pregnant Holy Nation women back in the day. So that's where Shek come from. So they blame the women for, cutting a deal with the skeletons, and some a lot of that part's speculation about why they blame women, but they absolutely just lay all the blame of everything wrong with their society on women. And a lot of it comes from, historically, it seems like they might have actually had a reason to blame the women in the past. While it doesn't fit now, it looks like maybe their women cut deals with the skeletons for safety and let them experiment on them. It's a lot of hearsay, it's a lot of hard to tell, but the lore absolutely supports that the hivers were like made to replace humans for farming. The Shek were meant to keep them in line. Yeah, yeah, the lore fits the game really well. The only thing that doesn't make sense to me is that the Holy Nation probably should have just won by now, and I think the only reason they don't is very specifically because they refuse to embrace science. The UC actually has better equipment because they have higher level science to make better equipment and better weapons. Alright, we got these guys working. I got distracted from what I was going to do with Homeboy next. Oh, we need power. That's why I wasn't ready yet. We got to get power going. So one of the best things you can do in the city is you can just build these battery banks and research better and better batteries. Yeah, any inconsistencies you see, a lot of it's intentional. Um, it just fits the lore. If you're playing with mods, things can get out of whack quick. But if you're playing without mods, the game fits and flows pretty well. I'd never say it's perfect, but it's definitely one of my favorite games. Best money I've ever spent on a video game. And it's crazy that this one guy just came up with this whole world in his head and pieced it together so well. There's actually a lot of lore about maybe what the catastrophe happened, and you can find out that some of the skeletons know what happened. Not sort of, not kind of. They don't actually all reset themselves. That's not true. Whether or not some of them do, or that's real or not, is actually up for debate. It might be complete BS that they just feed to organic life forms and tell them, oh yeah, we reset, we forgot, we don't know. There's a lot of lore to support that's just not true at all, and that none of them do it, or that at least some of them don't. Well, like the UC, at least what they're doing serves their purpose. While it's still objectively wrong, it at least advances their civilization. But because they have to constantly keep having new slaves, they have to constantly oppress people, it actually hurts the growth of your society. That's why they've kind of stagnated. And no one wants to fight for them. No one wants to go and fight the Holy Nation to the death. Yeah. Yeah, if they would just let people share in some of the wealth, it would just be better. It's always going to be better that way. Let people work, let them make their own money. But they actually sabotaged the farms and then made slave farms instead because it meant they got more money. There's some of the most evil people there are. The Holy Nation at least kind of want to pretend they're doing the right thing when they send you to rebirth. They've at least convinced themselves they're doing something good by sending you to repent for your sins. The UC is just using people like cattle. So now that we have this battery power set up, as we research higher levels of it, these batteries will just get more and more useful without having to be upgraded. So we're going to be able to work through the night here pretty soon, even with our stuff that requires power. And that's why I wanted to hold on to these books and save them for this. I didn't want to blow through those buying other stuff and researching other stuff that we don't need yet. Alright, he's updated his money. Are they close enough? They are. See, that's crazy. So now we're in the middle, and I actually put them in the middle. I can sell clear over here, end to end, to whatever shop I want. He's still got some electricals on him. Let's build some storage for that. Yeah, that's the other thing too. The Holy Nation, while a lot of them might be real believers and zealots, the people at the top definitely don't believe any of it. They absolutely, if you can ally with the Holy Nation and walk in there with straight up skeletons and they'll just let it slide. They don't care. I need to double check. Did that get built? It did. Okay, so everything's built. I'm just going to build an electrical storage. And then we can buy some food and some science books and get out of here. you got a couple. Uh, yeah, the electrics are cheap. We'll go ahead and buy those. And the fabric. So every now and then I have to buy fabric because eventually we'll need it, and I'm not going to wait until we're out in our own base to have cotton. And I'm not going to spend research on hydroponics just to get cloth. We're not doing that. Oh, that's full already? Sheesh. Can we fit one more in there? Yeah. Yeah, basically. It's just whatever the guy at the top says. If he says, oh, not this skeleton, he's fine, they go with it. They also don't mistreat their women as badly as they get a rap for. As long as you are with a male Greenlander, which is the law. So let's say as long as you're following the law, they'll pick women up who get knocked down, not enslave them. They'll heal them. They'll give you food. They'll greet you just as politely as they would the men. But like if you're out late at the bar alone, the shopkeeper will freak out. It's wild how much with such a simple system they did with the lore for the Holy Nation. Yeah, it's definitely taking some of the worst of both almost, if anything. But then the Flotsam are actually Ocranite as well. That's the really weird thing. They have the same religion. Okay, it's time to get out of here. He's working. She's working. We got stuff coming in. I can either go grab my allegiance with the skin bandits. Yeah, it's time to go get armor. So it's time to finish our stealth grind. Let's see if we can buy the stealth gear, and we'll just go without it if we don't. But like the Flotsam ninjas are all Okranites. They actually worship the same thing. They just claim that the Holy Nation rewrote their version of the Bible to, put all of this on women. But they still are racist. They don't want to associate with hivers. They don't want to associate with Shek. The shopkeepers in the Flotsam village won't sell to you. They'll ask you to leave. It's crazy. The Swampers just sell drugs and murder each other. I wonder if there's like I would say the only people that kind of have their crap together are the nomads. Yeah, there's a lot of things you'll see them doing just like real life, and then you'll see them doing the exaggerated version, the less worse version. Okay, we're buying stealth gear. I'm getting distracted by lore. Ten Fist is full of crap. I mean, Ten Fist is full of crap. He was a crazy murderer for Catlon for years, and now I'm all better now. And he still beats people to absolute death. Like I know he says he doesn't kill people, but if you watch him fight, if he punches someone, they usually turn into red mist. So we didn't get stealth gear. We're just raw dogging it again, and it's gonna be a little more dangerous. But I don't want to do any grinding. I can't be bothered. And I'm not going to wait and check a bunch of shops. I can't be bothered. We're already at 37 stealth anyway. But Tin Fist at least kind of has the right idea, but they're still killing a ton of people. They're When they free those slaves, they don't usually take them in as part of their crew. A lot of them will just be left to fend for themselves and become outlaw swordsmen. The people in the fishing villages on the north coast, the like dead cat actual villages, they just kind of do their own thing, and the nomads just kind of do their own thing and don't bother anybody. The nomads farm and have their animals, and they sell animals that they've raised up, but those are the only ones that don't have like a really messed up situation going on. Everybody else is like a reaver or a crab raider. They're like murdering you to test you. This is probably one of the coolest things I figured out though. If you actually go to the skin bandits, which are the skeletons running around with these freaky flesh suits, if you're alone and just a skeleton, I don't know if they'll react if you have people with you, but if you're alone as a skeleton, you can join them. Yeah, but giving someone freedom when before you beat the crap out of the guy that was their slave master, they were still going to eat today, and then they go immediately starve and die because they grew up a slave and have no idea what to do. You got to look at results. His results are he gets people killed all the time. If he were to take those people and give them something better to do, you could easily argue that. Like with mods, I always do a lot of my recruiting from any kind of slaves you free, people, homeless, hungry bandits you beat up, you can recruit them and then give them a real purpose. Yeah. No, but no one in the game is really perfect, and that's kind of the idea. I also just don't buy it anytime you hear a skeleton talking to another skeleton, especially if there's no humans, Shek, or Hyver around, they say some really sus stuff. Like how it's really funny that they've got like the skeleton bandits that are humans running around pretending to be skeletons. The guy running that's a whack job. The guy running the skin bandits is a human that's a whack job. But this, oh, see, I'm getting distracted. Ran straight into beak things. Leave me alone, you dirty beakers. Don't y'all got something better to do? If we can find a hill, a lot of times these guys are just too lazy. They can't be bothered to run up a hill. Go up and around some of this stuff, hit sneak. And they're blind as a bat, too. If this was at nighttime, I wouldn't have got caught. But a lot of times you can manipulate these hills and they'll just get tired of trying to chase you over a bunch of up and down. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do the whole fake like I'm going to attack them all the way to town, and that's going to suck. I really should have been paying better attention. Probably the biggest problem I have with Ten Fist is the way not only does he not take people in that he quote unquote frees, but he won't let you join unless you're a wanted criminal. So like he doesn't make any efforts to use diplomacy and build relationships with powerful people that could actually make things change. If you really wanted to see something change, you've got to find compromises. And if you were to take any one of those slave camps, here we go, here we go. What do we got here? Dust bandits? Oh yeah, they deserve this. They deserve this. Hey guys, take care of these beakers for me, will ya? Thanks, buddy. Alright, we're gonna hop, skip, and get out of there. Go get our target. Yeah, I think Ten Fist is just selling his own legend. But there's not a ton of in-game stuff to support that, other than the fact that he does go around turning people into spaghetti. And you know he's not stupid enough to not understand that he's not helping. The skeletons, it's always this weird double-edged sword where they try to act like they're all really sad that the world ended and they didn't want it to happen. But then again, when you hear them talking skeleton to skeleton, they'll say really sus stuff like, don't worry, they're never going to find out what happened. I've been erasing information to make sure of it. And you're like, what? So now our plan, though, is to go to the Skin Bandits and scoop up their leader. And we're just going to bring him home, turn him into a nugget, and then we're going to use him as a training dummy later, and we're going to go and get allied with the Crab Raiders so we can get their armor. Yeah, as far as like the original, I think you can find a copy of the original text where like it doesn't have all of this narco stuff. It kind of follows like how the original Bible didn't have hell in it, if I remember right. I'm no theologist, but I think the original Bible didn't really have hell in it. They kind of do that, where narco is like this thing they made up along the way. But before that, it was no, really, the skeletons ruined everything. They tried to turn us into cattle. They tried to kill us. There's a reason we put half of them into a bunch of molten metal. Yeah. Just like any source of power, religion naturally comes with power because you can change what people will do by telling them it's right or wrong. And that power can then corrupt the people that have it. Ooh, more free stealth training. At this point, we're just kind of enjoying the fact that we can run fast. Looks like we're gonna grab some athletic legs instead of stealth legs, maybe. Well, a lot of people would say like that in real life, and in some places you're gonna see that, but like I've gone to church too, and the people we have there and the way they do things is just not it's not church isn't like you see on TV 90% of the time. It's just going there talking about what's in the Bible and then going over the way we should be treating each other. It's more about, we should be serving our community, we should be helping each other, and we need to remember that it's not out of obligation. Like when you help the people around you, it will make things better for you too. And my son really likes going to church because whether or not everybody has the same exact belief in God or how they think things work, there's still people that in general have good morals. They really don't want to hurt other people. They just want to have a good life. And he's able to meet other kids that were raised to think like that. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of them, they may not like it if you're too far off the beaten path on what the Bible teaches, but for the most part, they just want you to treat your fellow man with kindness and help out. Yeah, and that's why you're seeing a lot of that not happen. Right now, it's kind of rough because there's just so many different groups trying to fit into one country, and it's not working out so good. Everybody's just fighting and arguing all the time. Now we get to the creepy outpost. This is where we're going to be able to basically just pick this guy up. So they're normally when you come here, it's late game, and these guys are going to. Why? Go away. I can't believe this guy followed me this whole time. This is why I should have done stealth instead of just running. I should have taken the time. It's the one skill that's worth grinding. This dork followed me. You know what? He followed me to the wrong place. We're going to bring him in here. So these are the skin bandits. Normally, when you come here, most of your team is human, and these guys are going to absolutely torch you. They're going to beat you down, and then they're going to stuff you into one of these things called a peeler, which we'll see up here. We're going to bring a friend for them to show how the peeler works. Come on, don't get bored chasing me now. You wanted this. So this guy's been like running through acid rain for half of this too. I guess it's just not raining today. Oh, come on, stop it. Yeah, so they attack him on sight, but they're going to completely leave me alone. His feet are getting cooked by the sand, and I think it's starting to acid rain. Yep. So they beat him down, and we can even talk to him and say hi. So that they'll tell you the doctor can do that, and you can tell him, okay, I want to down with the skinless. So he tells me to go find their boss. So like if you even go up to and try to talk to them, you don't have any issues. As long as you're a skeleton. But if you're not, they're going to do what they do to this guy. They immediately attack you. They see some creepy stuff about, oh, that's some nice skin you have. Can I have it? They're all hanging out in here. And they'll bring you up here. And this is locked. He's locked in. So you have to have another character come and pick your lock. Or you have to be able to pick it quick enough to escape. Because otherwise you get absolutely ripped apart. And it's YouTube, so we won't focus on that too much, but we'll come in here. We don't want to join with him. We're not actually doing that this run. Yeah, yeah. I was trying to get it back. That's true. That's fair. So all we're gonna do is sneak here. Actually, I don't even think we have to sneak. We'll see. I haven't tried doing this way before where I actually bring him with me. We'll have to see if they get pissed off about it. Come on, man. Go to bed, flesh bag. So eventually this dude's gonna go to bed and then we can just pick him up. I don't know what's taking so long this time. I thought it was at midnight when he went to bed every time. Maybe he's waiting until 2 or 3. Come on, man. This is supposed to be a no lollygagging run. You're harshing the vibe, dude. Yeah, he's staying up late, I guess. What is happening? This dude always goes to bed. If this guy doesn't go to bed, I'm gonna be sad. Maybe I need to be sneaking. He's feeling shy. Doesn't want to go to bed with an audience. I don't know. I've never had him not just go to bed as soon as night hit. This is ridiculous. All right, we'll check back with you in a minute, buddy. I don't know what your deal is. We can buy some food. We gotta do something. We can't just be sitting here. We'll wait till it's almost 6 and make sure we check back. Yeah, that's the other thing. The skeletons don't have to eat. They don't get attacked by those guys when we come here. He's really not gonna go to bed. Oh, there he goes. He waited till almost 6 o'clock to go to bed. He goes to bed in the morning. Okay. So we can just pick him up and take his stuff. For whatever reason, they let you just pick him up. And because we've got 25 strength, I think I can bail out of here. Yeah, I'm barely encumbered at all. So if I just throw this stuff in my backpack, we can just run. I don't even know if they're going to get mad, though, since we didn't attack him. We just left with him. We might be able to do this without them getting pissed off. What did he say? To be without flesh is to be without mind. Yeah, they still talk smack to you. It's like being in a Shek village. They're like, you skinless freak. The audacity of these guys. Oh yeah, so this is the other creepy thing they do. Whenever you go by, they're like singing songs about we're so human. We eat and breathe, I swear. They're one of the wildest, creepiest factions because they're just so odd and dangerous. Yeah, they look at you like you're just some skinless freak. And they don't seem to care that I had him, but they also never took my stealth off, so who knows. But we got the peeler, and we got a random really good weapon, which is always nice. Just got to get home without losing this guy. That's the only hard part. Not having our stealth maxed out is coming back to bite, and not having the stealth gear. But we're going to skip Sniper Valley and try to not get shot in the face. So earlier when I got injured, I actually don't think it was that stupid martial arts guy following me. I think that was a random stray from the sniper bots out here. All of this whole area is just robots with like 99 dexterity, 99 crossbow, and 99 precision. So the plan with the field trip is we just got the peeler machine by stealing it off of him, and without making ourselves hostile to the skin bandits. Well, maybe it might, but basically we get him and the peeler without having to fight for it. Hold on, let me stay away from these stupid bat things. But he's also a high level NPC, and he's not allied with any factions that could cause us trouble. Like, even if we become hated by these guys, I don't think they're going to come across the map to revenge against us. They might even have less spawns now that he's kidnapped. So if we look, skin bandits, they're not even, oh, there we go. Yeah, 0. But he's a high level NPC with a high toughness stat, decent attack stats. We're going to turn him into a nugget and then use him as an attack dummy. We'll give him some lead pipes to beat him with, and that'll be a way to train some people up just to get, the first 10 to 20 attack levels right quick. We're taking a weird route home, but I just really want to skip anything that might actually mess us up. You cannot, if you're not ultra fast and stealthy, you can't run through Gray Shelf or the Royal Valley. That's just a no-go. Ah, see, this is what I was trying to skip. But I guess there's some of them roaming around here, too. Those are exactly what I don't want to see. They'll take this guy and feed him to King. Leave me alone. We'll cut through and head to Flats Lagoon. We gotta get a little further away. It looks like we're faster than them, which is great. They're not gonna catch me. There we go. And we're getting some good stealth levels out of it. Yeah, see, skeletons level their stealth slower than everyone else too, which isn't the best, but not being affected by acid rain, being able to wear straight stealth gear, not dying as easy, not needing to eat. There's just too many positives to having the skeleton be your scout. And they can't be eaten. So, like, if a big thing knocks me down, they won't just eat me and kill me. I'll just have to be not hurt enough to where I can get up. But yeah, we're going to turn Savant into a nugget and use him as a training dummy because he has high stats. I don't know if it'll work. We might have to go buy him some limbs. But the plan is to try and see if just making him a nugget works. My favorite way to train attack is to grab an Elder Beak thing and Mourn and throw it in a bed and just save and reload and beat the crap out of the beak thing because it'll let you after you save and load. You can get your attack up to darn near 100 that way, just hanging out in Mourn, grabbing a snack every now and then, and wailing away on a beak thing. and you can switch out to martial arts to level your dexterity really quickly. It's just super good if you're training one dude or if you want to take the time to grab multiple. But you also are beating the living tar out of that beak thing, so its toughness will go up into like 150. So we'll take the beak thing. You could take the beak thing and beat the death out of it, and then go drop it off at the Holy Nation. And that one Elder Beak thing with 150 toughness will just kill any of the Holy Nation cities you want to take out, or wherever else, really. The only one I've ever used it on was the Holy Nation, because I was only doing like a solo run where I made a super strong character, but I also wanted to test if that would work. That one beak thing, you beat the crap out of it in a bed till its toughness is up to 150, and then you go and take it to Fishman Isle, and it'll just dunk on the Fishman, leveling its attack up to 150, and it just will not lose to anything after that. It'll just be too strong. See, this time I was paying attention, and I still got. He still saw me. Come on, dude, leave me alone. It's not that deep. Leave me alone. Go away. You don't see me. You suck. Stupid beak. Leave me alone. Are we far away? Yeah, we're far away from the city. We're gonna have to hope we've run into somebody we can pawn off on him. If I had taken the time to get my stealth all the way up, I wouldn't have this problem. I'd just be zooming at 100 stealth, completely left alone. Come on. It's also coming up on nighttime, and they really struggle to keep an eye on you during the nighttime at least. This is awful. This is the one thing I didn't want to get stuck doing. Can you just go away, Mr. Beaks? Just leave me alone. I'm just trying to go turn this guy into a nugget so we can train up. And, get the peeler so I can use robot limbs. He's really gonna make me do this. I might have to just fight this beak thing. That would really suck. Because I can't take Savant in a 1v1. He would dunk on me, probably even without his weapon. Dude, just go away. I'm gonna have to hit the nomads just to be able to go home in peace. Can I get around the corner enough? Come on. Alright, now quit moving. Go away. Yeah, see? Late at night, they can't see shit. Whew. I really should have just taken the time to get the gear I needed, but here we are. We'll figure it out. Alright, we're gonna hope he doesn't get attacked. Buy some food, make sure the shop's not getting backed up too far. We'll probably update our research too. We've got so much money, we may as well buy extra food. So it looks like we've got all the battery stuff we can get for now. So next up is going to be defense. So the thing I think a lot of people don't know is the mounted crossbows, not the turrets, but the mounted crossbows don't require power. So it's great to go ahead and research those even if you're going to switch to turrets. Just because, oh, let's hold on. Okay, he's not. So he doesn't have a hunger stat while I'm carrying him. Okay. I wanted to make sure he wasn't starving to death. But the crossbows, the mounted crossbows, number one, don't take power. They don't need power. And when you upgrade them to crossbow level 2, they're really strong. And you can actually set those up anywhere. You just need like 5 or 6 iron plates, or maybe it's 8, something like that. And you can set up those crossbows anywhere that's far enough away from a city. So you can go, right outside a city and lure them into an ambush against crossbows that have infinite ammo and just have a whole team set up. And you can do that with, ancient libraries, slave camps, the reavers, any enemy you want to take out, you can use that same strategy against pretty much. So not only can you use them for base defense, but you can set them up and be like road bandits. You can do all kinds of stuff. But we'll get this guy home, turn him into a nugget, and double check that our equipment's getting built. We need her to go sell stuff. Ooh, it's not time yet. So if the door's not open, don't try to go in the building. For whatever reason, they're just gonna attack the door instead of just knock. I don't know why it defaults to you trying to break down the door and get yourself killed, but that's what it defaults to. Oh, looks like our copper got full. That's no good. I'm gonna need to stay up on that a little better. Don't go anywhere, dang it. You might, yeah, we gotta hit the other shop too. I know you got jobs to do, but you need to calm down. Still no luck on this shop? Nope. If I wasn't so worried about getting the nugget back, I would have stopped and bought armor schematics as well. But I want to get this guy back in one piece. Yeah, we're basically just making tons of money. And you won't see that if you don't turn up the production speed. But if you leave it at default, your guys will literally never get good at crafting. They take so long to craft anything that they don't ever level up. You're either just gonna have to put on crappy equipment and go and just hope for the best, or you're gonna have to sit and wait. And that sitting and waiting part, that's all turning the production down does. I don't want to do it. It's literally a fun meter. We're not doing that. So I just leave it turned up, and then sometimes you'll make too much copper. It's not the end of the world, especially now that we moved what building we're selling out of. It was easy to sell it all and get that cleaned up. So now we're gonna have a ton of money. We're gonna have plenty of food. We're gonna have ribs. Ribs is already at 56 armor smithing, And we're just looking to get him to 80 before we start heading out with our people. So we'll get him to 80, have him craft some gear, and then we'll head out from there. We'll probably have him make a full set of armor for everybody. And then we're going to work on chainmail for everyone. But while he's working on that, we'll go ahead and get teams sent out. It just takes too long. Making chainmail armor takes forever. But it's worth doing because it's such good defense. And again, it's good harpoon defense. Alright, we've almost made it home. Let's get a prison set up for this guy. And we're going to need a peeler. So we'll put him in prison. That probably gave us, yeah, a little bit of negative rep with the skin bandits, but not much for kidnapping their leader. And then I'm going to take a quick 2-second break to grab some water, and then I'll be right back and we'll keep at it. Alright, we are back. So let's see what this guy has to say, because it's always interesting. Nothing. He has nothing to say. And I built the cage backwards. That's rough. I need to make sure I've got some good bandages for him. Don't want him just dying out of nowhere. Not a very useful training dummy if he dies. Alright, let's see. Oh, I should probably remove his armor. Just because it's got... You there, a little help? He's wanting me to come help him? Ribs, what are you doing? Oh, why are they all trying to medic him? He's not a friendly. And Belt, you don't want to be medicing him either. That's funny. So we'll eventually need to medic him, but not at the start. We have to wait till his other body parts get affected. We don't necessarily want to show it on screen. It's pretty gruesome. Who's medicing him now? No. What in the deuce? I have to take medic off of everybody? Now that arm's going to take longer to come off and he's going to get more injured. There's most of them. Alright. So as soon as that happens, we pick him up, put him in prison, and first aid him. He just might make it. Put medic back at the top for whoever had came in here earlier. Okay. Yep, looks like he made it. Just clean up this mess. Pretend that never happened. It wasn't as gruesome. I wonder if I like turned the blood off. I don't think I did, but that's good. Doesn't need to be ultra cringe gruesome. Hey, they'll even take these off my hands. Can sell this stuff. Make some more money. Yeah, pay no mind. No big deal. It's normal in Kenshi, okay? I'm doing you a favor. Somebody from up north is going to come in craving a Scorchlander leg, and you're going to be able to give it to them. When's the last time somebody was able to serve dinner to a cannibal without being dinner, you know? That's an achievement. Grab some more books, see if there's anything else we can research. We can do turret training, that's always nice to have. Yeah, pretty much. How are you doing, Ribs? So he's already in the 60s. Once he hits 80s, we can set him to crafting. We're not far off. So now, we need to make sure that guy has some food or I'll forget about him and he will absolutely starve. So we'll turn our jobs off and we'll just give him a bunch of food so that I don't have to try and remember to feed him every now and then. Take his weapon for now. Never know, I might need a weapon. And now we go. So if you actually join with the Skin Bandits, it makes the Crab Raiders hostile. So I did kind of a dry run just to make sure what I thought was going to be a good start would work. And I joined with the Skin Bandits so that I could hang out and build a base in their area, which was cool. It's really cool being able to join the Skin Bandits and have a base in their area. But it looks like I still might be able to if I take that guy back without finishing him off, and then I'll be able to talk to him. It really just depends. But if you join with the Skin Bandits, it makes you at war. Oh no, somebody's gonna lose a limb. It makes you hostile to the Crab Raiders, and that's just no good. So everybody but him. And then we'll turn your guys' jobs back on. Nope, everybody come out. Uh, okay, good. It looks like the wolves are going away. I need you to head for the Crab Raiders, my guy. Our stealth's coming up on this guy enough, too. They're back? Come on. Lead them to the frickin' gate. Yep, come on. Lead them to the gate. Everybody except Belt. There we go. I gotta send Belt back out here again. I'm gonna put him in a different squad. So one thing you always want to do if you're gonna change your squads, save. I haven't even updated our factions yet. We'll call this one Squin. And then Belt. When you change squads, I've noticed I'll get a lot of crashes while moving people between squads. So it's always good to save before. I'm not going to be doing any like save and reload stuff if something bad happens. But just because I love the stories that come from it. Like if you want to play that way and, save and reload when something bad happens you didn't expect, do it. Whatever is fun, but it made for the most epic story I've ever seen in this game. We lost everyone except for two Shek ladies trying to kill the Bugmaster because we weren't ready. And I tried anyway. They barely escaped alone. Everyone else died. Even Beep died. And then they come back to the Holy Nation assaulting our base because while we were out of town, they still showed up and demanded prayer day. And so those two Shek used advanced harpoon turrets to hold them off long enough that only like two or three broke in. And it ended up in a 1v1. One of them went down, the other one was back to fighting, and that won that 1v1. That might be, it was an epic fight. And then at the end of that playthrough though, we rebuilt from having only two people back up to 30, and we went and defeated Catlon with 30 people. We fought Catlon and all of his robots with just 30 people and wiped them out. That's what really solidified for me that you can use heavy armor and crossbows is one of the most effective ways to play the game. Oh, come on, man. Keep moving. Don't stop out here. We got places to be. Is he sleeping? I can't tell if he's actually in the bed or not. I think he's getting better. Ooh, that guy's fast. That's not good. Oh, but we're faster than him once we're not trying to sneak. Can we get some stealth experience? What's going on here? It's going up so slow. There we go. It really is. It works so well. And I'm going to combine it with that spiked mace that the spiked club that makes people bleed worse. I was playing with it as like just using the spiked club, and I was taking guys who were brand new, and as long as they had the same numbers, they could take a fight with dust bandits. Like obviously brand new characters, if they're outnumbered, they're hosed, but they didn't have to do a ton of damage. They just would put them all in a blood loss KO way before they ever would have done enough damage to knock them out. So I think combining that with the crossbows that like to make people bleed a lot, I think it'll work really well. Get those guys back to working. Callie, what are you doing? Try and sell stuff. What I don't want to do is over purchase books. I always end up purchasing way more than I need, and it's just a total waste of money because selling them back isn't gonna work. You lose a ton of the money that you spent, but it looks like I'm gonna need a lot more. And I should stock up on food. But I'm making a ton of money. This is going a lot smoother than my test playthrough. It was actually way more rough, and I think part of that is just because of how the whole alliance thing went. But yeah, once we get armor, by the time we get the armor schematics we need, oh, that's a big gorilla. Run away. By the time we get the schematics we need, we'll be able to start crafting, I think. Ribs is already at 60. Yeah, man, thanks for coming and watching. I should be streaming a lot more again. Everything's been hectic for a while. Had to do IRL stuff, but now I should be back to it. So hopefully I'll see you again next time. Now all I've got to do, I know Valindian's heading out, but I still have to talk like, so when you go watch this back, if anyone's watching afterwards, sometimes people will pop in and out, but a lot of people watch the streams after the fact. So I try to at least keep talking, even if I sound like a crazy person. But we'll go join the crab people, rob the crab queen for her gear. And then I need to get some good armor for this guy. I know I can get some high quality stuff from the Armor King. Maybe I can score some actual ninja rags over here too. That would be nice. Not from the crab people, but we'll head up here to Black Scratch. Hit the Great Library, see what we can get. I need to remember that I already bought chainmail. Already bought chainmail. But yeah, as soon as Ribs gets to armor smithing 80, that's when he's pretty much exclusively going to make specialist gear with a very small chance for masterwork. And the masterwork chance, even at close to capped out smithing, is still not, I don't think it's even 50-50. So you kind of just deal with specialist gear until he's eventually crafted enough to have all masterwork on everyone. It's not worth waiting. That's again where you end up sitting around waiting. Right now, just going and getting the schematics, going and gathering the crossbow weapons I need, making sure I've built up enough food to account for all those hungry ass Shek we're gonna have. I even might go and still rob the Narcos trap just so that maybe we can get hydroponics. We could start growing our own food. That wouldn't be the worst thing ever. Making sure we're able to grow our own food before we even get out there. But my plan is to hunt beak things after we've gotten a little bit of experience with dust bandits and taking out a few bounties. I'm going to go just hunt beak things. We'll get a ton of leather, we'll get a ton of eggs, and then a ton of raw meat, and that will let us train up our cook. I'd like to have one more person join that is specifically the cook. I don't necessarily need to work on farming beforehand, but it wouldn't be the worst. But we'll have to take people off of something to do that. So if I take the miners off, at least the people mining iron, I could take them off, or I could take the guys mining copper off, and we can start just selling our excess gear that Ribs makes. There's a lot of options, but basically I have to take them off of mining and start having them farm if I wanted to do hydroponics early. But I'm not sure I want to put the resources into setting up hydroponics in town. It would definitely make for an easier transition. But as far as training up the cook, I could just use the cooking stove if I have to, and that should work pretty great. You're aimless. Okay, we need more books. We're getting pretty full on armored plate. Can probably sell some of that too. Yeah, we're gonna have to either sell some or make some more room. Don't really want to sell it. I'll probably sell it one to two boxes at a time, not sell it all off. It really stinks that they won't sell crab armor unless you join them, because I'd much rather be able to just get the blueprint without joining them. I almost always play with a mod that adds the crab armor to like tier 6 technology, so it's still hard to get, but you don't have to randomly go across the map. You know, there's no, other than that I'm a skeleton, which kind of plays into the lore of it. There's no reason I should know in game to do all this. Like in game, it makes sense to set up mining, to set up armor, and to be prepared before you go out and try to venture out in the world and set up your own base. But it doesn't make sense to run to the middle of BFE to find the best armor in the game. And while not all of the crab armor is the best, like the shoes and the leg plates aren't the best, the helmet and chest lets any humanoid creature go anywhere on the map in heavy armor. Even in Venge, as long as everyone's wearing full heavy armor or they're a skeleton, or as long as they're wearing the crab helmet and the crab armor, you are immune to the sky lasers. They don't even damage you. Your animals don't take damage from it, and your skeletons won't. Your hivers will, so you can only really have hivers that can wear the crab helmet. But that's if you're going to go in Venge, you know. Most of the time that's not a big deal. Just being immune to the acid rain is enough. So we come in here, we find her Royal Highness. We tell her we love crabs and that we want to join. That will let us purchase the blueprints. Luckily, I'm not worried about having the shoes, so we should be good. Get a helmet. And the shoes are there. There's got to be something weird. This used to not be a thing. Maybe they patched it quietly. I don't know. I don't think a Kenshi patch has come out in forever. But now the crab shoes are always there. So, oh, we don't need the trousers. I'm not going to waste the money on it. These are not as good as samurai leg plates, from what I understand. Ah, but part of me is wanting to get it just in case I'm wrong. Because if it blocks, so what is it? Athletics, combat speed. I think it has less harpoon resistance, was why the samurai leg plates were better. So we'll go with that. Now the other thing you can do that's funny is now that we've joined them, I can come and pick up any one of these guys and take their stuff and no one cares. So the crazy thing is I can wait for her to go to bed, collect another Mei 2 weapon, and then head out. And it'll be nighttime, so we'll get bothered less. So there's actually plenty of reason to stick around. I can't sell here what I stole, but that makes sense. Let's go get some science books, make sure we get her back to researching. Is she stuck? Are you stuck? You're stuck. We'll dismantle that. Let's get everybody back to work. I need to make a new meat storage. Let's put it far enough away no one gets stuck. There we go. Purchase a ton of books. Need to purchase fabric and iron plates. Because you always need more iron plates. It's just the way it is. And we'll buy a bunch of food. We definitely don't need this much food right now, but having a big surplus of food before we hire 20 Shek all at once is going to be a big deal. They eat so much food, it's not even funny. Like right now we have way more than we could ever need, but I'll take that. So now we're kind of at the point, we've done all the electrics, we're just going to burn through the books. I'm not going to worry about any of that. Turret training 3, oh no, it requires more books. So we'll make sure we get turret training 3, but... Can you go to bed, lady? Did you go to bed? No, she's still chilling. I want to grab her weapon while we're here, just because. Oh, how's Mr. Nugget? Okay. He's fully nugged, but he's not dying. How's he doing on food? Hasn't even eaten any yet. Excellent. We're coming up on nighttime. Shouldn't be but a few more minutes. I wouldn't hate having crabs on the team, but that takes up the slot of a person, and they aren't very effective. I like having strong enough bone dogs, and I think after watching a video from Frankie was here, there's apparently a strongest bone dog you can recruit. I might want to get one of those just because it'd be cool. But I don't think it fits. So the way this playthrough is going to go, we're not just whooping Kenshi's butt. We're also going to do like a big tech hunter run. We're going to go and claim every single piece of technology. We're going to capture every single leader of every faction in one way or another and see if they have any unique dialogue when talking to skeletons and talking to humans. See if there's anything that's maybe been missed about what happened between all the different books. So it'll give us a lot to do. We have to go and capture every leader. We have to survive that. We have to get the leader alive and back to our base. We have to question them if it'll let us. Because some of the leaders will talk to you once you capture them. We'll find all the books. We'll do all of that. And instead of turning in any of the leaders for bounties, we're just going to capture them all, trying to figure out what the heck really happened and see if there's any hidden lore. I don't think we're going to find anything, but I have to kind of do it for science. I have to see. I wonder if there's anything Chris is hidden from, if you capture every single leader and talk to them with a skeleton and a human, maybe you can piece together something. We're going to grab Mole, we're going to grab the Phoenix. We're gonna grab Asada. Nobody's safe. Everybody who's an important character, we're gonna try and grab up and question them. So there she goes. Well, where is she going? She's guarding the place? That doesn't seem right. Where on earth did she just go? Oh, she's fighting. One of the fish people made it in here and she went to go fight him. That's funny. I need her to go sit back down. Take a nap. It's nap time, lady. Come on. This again. Nobody wants to go to bed on time. It's like everybody in this world's a friggin' gamer, bro. Please, madam, go take a sleep. I need your stuff. I want your weapon. We're also going to collect all of the Mei-2 weapons so we can analyze them. Or something like that. Some kind of Lorishborg nonsense. Okay, so we pick her up. Take her Mei-2 weapon. Leave it in the backpack. I don't want to get caught with it. Ditch that. We'll leave her some pants. We gotta leave her with some dignity. We're gonna get the heck out of here. We need to make our way up to Black Scratch. Just gonna do this the old-fashioned way, I guess. I'm just trying to put the heaviest stuff in my backpack and reduce how much weight I'm dealing with if I can. Still pretty heavily weighed down, which is a bummer, but that should be good enough. It looks like we're keeping power through most of the night. That was something I wanted to check on. We might need to build one or two more battery banks, though. It looks like we're going to, especially for once we set up an actual heavy weapon, well, heavy armor smithy, we'll say. Yeah, let's go ahead and plan on making some more. We'll just double it. Make it easy, double it. Because it looked like we had wind pretty late into the night that time, and it may not always be that lucky. But really, the whole purpose to this series is to show you, like, once you figure out that you can move about the map with almost complete impunity if you're fast enough, and if you have stealth and enough strength to carry a little bit while in stealth, you can go do just about anything you need to with a solo sneaky guy. You can go grab the blueprints you need, you can go buy weapons and equipment if that's how you want to do it. You can kidnap random faction leaders, even without assassination sometimes. Like, we could have taken the Crab Raiders leader right now, but we're going to save that for later. I don't want to sit and try to feed her and keep her fed when I don't even know if she gives a voice line, and I don't have an army to deal with it if somebody gets pissed off. I like that it's running us around this way. We just have to watch out for Reavers. We are running right by Ark, though. And if I have to, I will drop this equipment, especially the cheap stuff. Honestly, what is this? 300 cats? No. 100 cats to sell? No. 100 cats. This stuff's at least worth it. 98 cats. Nope. 600's okay. Yeah, the crab armor isn't very good for selling. But it's good enough that as long as it's not gonna get me caught, I can live with that. See, now we're not encumbered, and we dropped like 300 cats worth of loot. I'll take that. We actually end up leveling our athletics much faster this way too, because we're moving faster. So I'll take it. Man, it has taken her forever to build those battery banks. That's weird. I really want to see if there's a couple interesting things here I can pick up. I might be able to get some cool blueprints for my outpost as well. And on the way back, we can slide into the Black Desert City, see what else we can pick up there since we have so much money laying around. So made it to the Great Library. Don't let me down. Yeah, we can sell all of this stuff to him. Cool. Gonna hold on to the good weapon though. This is the only thing I don't like about this is I'm gonna have to go through this line by line looking for stuff. I really wish you could just search up what you want. Samurai helmets. I don't think I need that. I might need it for my bug boys if I end up armoring everybody. Already got chainmail. Come on now. There's the boots. I just need samurai leg plates. There's the armor. I'm not gonna buy the armor. You really don't have the leg plates? Did I miss them? Is he serious right now? That's obnoxious. But I'm gonna only have a few skeletons. I can buy them Masterwork Samurai armor. Yuck. And I don't really plan on recruiting more skeletons, so. Dang it. Okay, so we're still short samurai leg plates. Need to figure out where to get that. We can buy all that back home. Random furniture's cool. Don't need the ranger shop. We are not crafting our own crossbows this playthrough. That's the great library. Where's the machine shop? I know there's a machine shop here. At least I thought I did. There, yep, robotics. There we go. No, that's not it. Was this it? And they just didn't have squat? Wow, okay. This is where I can get green fruit so that I can farm that. And rice weed. The other stuff I can get back home. Oh no, they don't have the ones I need. That's such a bummer. Mongrel. Okay, since I'm here, we'll buy all of their special books. Scrap tent. And then we'll check the library. I bet it had some good stuff in that kind of way as well. Let's check out the blue. Wakizashi, short cleaver, plank. We don't have the money to buy up all the random nonsense that they have. We'll buy more of the books later. I don't want to blow through all my money. I'm gonna check the other town that's up here. There's another town around here somewhere. I may have to hit the UC to get the leg plates pattern, which is kind of lame. But if I do, I do. We'll try Brink, and if we don't get it, we'll go off somewhere else. Ribs, yeah, I knew that would happen. Dang it. Let's try dumping some of it for now. We'll sell it in the morning. There's a clothing shop that might have it. Is the clothing shop open 24/7? Oh, don't tell me he's not even here. There we go. Hey, he's got my sneak gear. What's up, dude? Nice. Do you have the pants too? Oh boy, and he has the pants. That's so good. Come on, don't let me down. He had black and chainmail. No, that's okay though. You had stuff I needed. That's good enough. He actually closed the shop now. Okay, so we're headed to the UC. Heft is like right above of Hang. So now, see, now that we have the right equipment, we went from like 60s, 70s to 94 stealth. Now we're cruising. I need to remember that that shop has it, but getting over here is dangerous. Random furniture, scrap tent, helmet, boots. We just need leg plates and we're set on our armor. Oh, time to go check on these boys. Bring all of them in and turn their jobs off. Whoa, Khaled, what are you doing? Okay, let's try this again. I wasted a lot of time in my latest run before I got back into streaming again. Bringing sniper bots here to market, I could get myself allied with them by selling them into slavery and then freeing them, but apparently there's no dialogue string to recruit them, so it doesn't matter. Even being allied with them, which is nice because then they don't attack you, and they're tied to a lot of the mechanical spiders and whatnot. It's 6 million cats to do it, and it's just not worth the effort. It was like 6 million cats, a ton of time, effort, because I didn't have 6 million cats just laying around. So it just really wasn't worth it. Do I? I don't have a bounty with the UC, right? Yeah, okay. So we're looking for heft specifically because it has an armor shop that should have what I'm looking for. We need to start buying healing kits soon. Oh man, Namtran's getting attacked again? Out of trading range, nonsense. Namtran, what are you getting attacked by? A greasy bandit, for real? It looks like that's gonna get cleaned up, so that's good. And I guess we can check the armor shop one last time, but I don't think they're gonna have the leg plates here. They never do. Nope. Oh, what? Yeah, cloth pants. Does Nerds double check? So we made a bunch of money, which is always good. Gonna make sure we get turret training, weapon melting. Let's go ahead and overbuy food again. I cannot overstate how much food these Shek are gonna eat once we hire them. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm gonna go ahead and make another food barrel. I'll just put it in the middle here, somewhere obnoxious, but it'll work. Yeah, see, we just filled that one up pretty much. Hey, we made it to heft. Perfect timing. That's the clothing shop. That's the armory. We got high grade stuff, but it looks like they don't have any masterwork. But that's fine. We're just here for the pattern. Now we can hit Black Desert City. And we'll probably have Belt hang out there. Well, no, because I can't fit 20 crossbows. But we'll buy some crossbows and then head back. But now we've done most of what I needed belt for. We'll probably look at maybe taking some mercenaries to hit the beak things, but I don't want to run out of mercenaries before I build a base. They are great for having a little extra backup while you're trying to get your base built. How is Ribs doing? 68. He's getting so close. These two right here I grabbed so we can research farming. The green fruit's usually what I do for food. If I can figure out one of the foods that only takes up a 4x4 square, that would be better. There's something about the 3x2 where people who are working will have their inventory too full, won't go ditch it, and they'll just stand there at the food trying to eat, and they can't. I'll have to see what to do about that. We might go rob Narcos Trap with him, but I want most of the technology to be acquired by our team. I want us to go and get it, you know, not just through sneaking in, stealing everything, and leaving. I don't want that to be how we get all of our technology when it's mostly a tech hunter playthrough anyway. But so far, we've had these guys working in the background, but we've been running all over the map, exploring, grabbing stuff, duping beak things, kidnapping a nugget. Oh, let's check on our nugget. How is he doing? Yeah, he's hungry? Hey, get me out. That's all he'll say. He's not wanting to eat. You'll pay. He's pretty mad. I hope he's not gonna starve himself. That would be annoying. I'll have to keep an eye on his food and make sure he doesn't starve himself. If I have to pick him up every now and then, so be it. The other thing we can do, it would take more time. It'll be something we do over time. But we can buy arms and legs from here and make Robo Super Soldiers out of our Tech Hunter team. Oh, of course I came here with a full inventory like a dork. So this is what I want. This is what I want my characters using. I want an old world Mark II masterwork. That's what we're after. So maybe we'll be stingy and only take the Mark IIs that are masterwork and just hope that the inventory refreshes. I don't even remember if this place refreshes their inventory at all. Maybe I want some people using a falling sun. That would be pretty cool. But I don't think I do. I don't think I have enough people to want to do that. I could buy more technology while I'm here. That's tempting. Yeah, I think that's the play. We got just some really good crossbows and some technology while we're here. That's pretty good. Yeah, it looks like we're staying powered all through the night, which is just fantastic. I need to find a spot for a heavy armor smithy. Yeah, he's starving himself. What a turd. So if I pick him up, then he eats. I guess we'll just have to pick him up. Maybe he needs help to eat. I don't want it over here, I don't think. I don't think I want my smith running back and forth. I could move the science bench. That sounds like the play. Move the science bench. Oh, well, let's see. Research bench level 4. Ooh, it's not looking good. Yeah, we took up the main spot that you would put it. I don't think that's gonna work out. Can I fit a research bench level 2? Haha, see, we can cheat. So heaven help us if we end up needing more power, but we can do that for now. There's no more books in here, so I can dismantle that. And then I can build my heavy armor smith in here. Okay, turn your jobs off. Calm down. Pick up all these iron plates. No, 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 no. Now go do your job. So we'll have her rebuild the science research machine over here. We started at level 2 because it fits better, and then we'll still be able to upgrade it. And then we can build a heavy armor smithy in here next to all of the materials we've been racking up. This will let us see too. We'll be able to see what level of output we can expect. I think I have to get to 80 to get specialist, but if I don't, I want to know. I don't feel like looking it up. We'll just check what the game expects him to put out as we go. Did she finish this bench? Nope. Let's finish that. Ooh, we're broke. I spent all the money. Man, they are filling up these copper storage units so fast. What are you doing? Go build this machine. There you go. And then I want Electrical torch post. Ceiling lamp might work here. Yeah, that should work. Alright, now we got the research bench rebuilt. Can start it on this, and we have enough plates for it. Sick. Hey, we're almost home. Nice. So we'll build a crossbow locker and a weapon locker. Get these weapons put away. We're going to throw all of these books in the research bench just to hold on to them. I didn't end up having enough to buy enough ancient science books to upgrade the bench, but that's okay. We don't need a fully upgraded bench just to get rolling. And I don't, like I said, I don't want to just sneak and buy all of our technology. We'd like to get that through tech hunting. And then whatever extra we have, we'll stash as like bragging rights almost. So we'll just have a vault of extra technology. Did we run out? What's... Oh, it needs more building materials. Interesting. Okay. Now we need a weapon cabinet and a crossbow locker. Okay, so we've got 3 of our 20 intended crossbows. We've got 1 random Meitu weapon. We're not going to be using that, but I do want to collect them. I do think we've kind of hit a killer stopping spot so that we can be ready to stream tomorrow. Ribs is not quite there. Let's say we were going to build crab armor. Well, not repeat. Goodness. Let's see what it expects. Standard? No, that can't be right. Q. Expected result is high. Okay, yeah. So we're not doing that yet. Okay, we sold a little armor plate. He's still not quite ready. He's just got to go probably till 80. So we are going to need to come up with a new mission for Belt, which isn't a big deal. There's a lot of cool shit we can go do with Belt still that makes sense. We can go hit Narco's Trap, give us a little bit of a jump start, because taking that would take forever. We wouldn't be able to do it for such a long time. So we'll wrap up here. I'm not going to do any off-stream playing. That's not the point of this. The point of this is to show you we can just totally belt to ass Kenshi and show this game who's boss. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Um, I know a lot of you are going to watch it after the fact. I am going to try and be editing these down into videos. We'll see how that goes. I mostly just like streaming it, and that's just kind of how it is. But if I do edit it down, you should get a much more clean cut. I'll probably cut all of my audio from the stream and add, some kind of script to go over what the plan was, what we're doing. Hopefully we'll be able to tomorrow. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll start recruiting our Shek a little early and let him beat up this little nugget boy and see how that goes. To do that, we're gonna have to go somewhere secluded. We can't just do that in the middle of town, or the guards will probably try and join in, and that's not what we're looking to do. So we'll see how that goes. Next stream should be tomorrow, and I will see y'all then.